Ya, baik, kita mulai saja pertemuan pada malam hari ini di Jakarta dan pada pagi hari di Houston. Jadi selamat pagi di Houston, selamat malam di Indonesia. Baik, kita mulai saja pertemuan pada malam hari ini di Jakarta dan pada pagi hari di Houston. Jadi selamat pagi di Houston, selamat malam di Indonesia. Ya, jadi pada malam hari ini kita punya program yang istimewa, kerjasama antara KJRI Houston, tentu saja dengan dukungan Amerop, Kemlu, dan bersama juga Kadin Indonesia Amerika, IACC di Amerika, dan bersama Sekolah Ekspor. Nah, nanti kita akan berbincang dengan banyak tamu, tetapi saya mau nyapa dulu teman saya malam hari ini, Gina. Malam Gina. Gina Fadila.
Terima kasih nih Pak, akhirnya kita jumpa lagi nih di acara webinar. Yeah. Sebenarnya ini second webinar ya Pak ya, dari untuk meningkatkan inilah ekspor Indonesia ke Amerika. So, terima kasih nih Pak, akhirnya kita jumpa lagi nih di acara webinar.
Ya, baik.
Second webinar ya Pak ya, dari untuk meningkatkan inilah ekspor Indonesia.
Ya, baik. Jadi kita mulai acara hari ini dengan ini dulu ya. Kita serahkan dulu acaranya kepada Ibu Konjen kita. Ibu Konjen RI di Houston, Ibu Nana. Jadi saya serahkan dulu ke Ibu Nana untuk memulai acara ini.
Okay, good morning everyone. Good morning in Houston in America, but good evening in Indonesia. It's a pleasure to meet you again. Pak Handito, thank you very much for our cooperation from Sekolah Export. I'm very sorry I speak in Bahasa Indonesia. Probably I will mix with English because our speakers today will deliver their presentation in English. So Pak Handito, first of all, I would like to congratulate for the Sekolah Export School, who just inaugurated by the Minister of Cooperative and also Small Medium Enterprises, and also attended by the Minister, the Acting Minister of Commerce in Indonesia on 19th of August. I would like to thank also and give my appreciation to Cynthia Ford. Cynthia Ford is the Consumer Safety Officer from Food and Drug Administration of United States, and also to Michael Valenzuela, Supervisory Consumer Safety Officer based in Houston, also from FDA. And also I heard we also would like to welcome John Sproul from FDA as well. And we have Pak Bimo Hadiputro, the President of Indonesian American Chamber of Commerce, Southern Central United States of America, will give a little bit of a background of this organization. And also thank you for the support from Gina, from Directorate of America, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Especially, I would like to give my appreciation to the participants of Sekolah Export who joined this evening event. As you know that the export and import, the trade volume between Indonesia and United States, even though during the pandemic COVID-19, the data we got from January until June, the export and import volume reached 10.3 billion US dollar, which is a surplus on Indonesian side around 6.3 billion US dollar. So we are happy with that. But of course, we want to invite also more business from United States to also do an import to Indonesia, because we want to get the balance of trade volume between those two countries. Indonesia and United States enjoy our friendly relationship, not only in political and security, but also in economic sectors. That's why the program like this really strengthen the relationship in economics sector between both countries. Dear participants, the 10 export or priority export from Indonesia to United States, if I may read, is electric machinery, especially the sound equipment, and then animal or vegetable fats or oils, footwear. Yeah, footwear also is the export from Indonesia to United States, and then rubber, and then apparel articles, furniture, fish, nuclear reactors, and also edible preparation of meat. Those are the 10 priority products that exported from Indonesia to United States. When we talk about food or drinks, especially food, food is on the 8th rank of our export to United States. In Houston itself, we can find some Indonesian products like ketchup, the soya bean sauce, for example, and the chili sauce. Cynthia, Indonesian people like spicy food, so we can find some, you know, that hot hot stuff, hot sauce, and then also some of spices from Indo food, and the crackers. Crackers, Indonesian like crackers a lot. If you don't have crackers in eating in their food, it's not complete. You need the sound, you know, crack, 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 like that when you eat rice or when you eat your meal. So crackers can be found in our Asian market in America. The demand for Indonesian products are increasing, especially the food, because we have a big numbers of Indonesian people, including Indonesian diaspora also in the United States. Especially during this pandemic, they like cooking at home, so they need and they miss Indonesian food. So I would like to, again, to give my appreciation to Cynthia Ford, and also to Michael Valenzuela, and also FDA for your time in giving and educating and sharing also what you have for our future exporters from Indonesia. For your information, Cynthia and Michael, they're not only coming from Jakarta, but they also come from all over the country of Indonesia. And Pak Handito is the pioneer for sekolah. Sekolah means school. Escola, I think probably in Spanish, yeah, export. So we'll speak in Indonesian and in English. I'm sorry about that. But if there are some questions, then Pak Handito or Gina, as the co-host, will translate for you. With that, thank you again, Pak Handito and Gina, and the speakers and the participants. I think we can start the conversation on exporting to United States. I give it back to Pak Handito, please.
Ya, thank you Ibu Konjen, terima kasih Ibu Nana. Jadi terima kasih juga ini ucapan selamatnya buat sekolah ekspor. Jadi ini mudah-mudahan dari ini ada juga sebagian, pasti lumayan banyak dari peserta sekolah ekspor, termasuk yang dari Houston ya. Baik, Gina, kita langsung saja Gina. Silakan Gina.
Iya, Pak. We have special guest today, Pak. Dan tadi sudah dijelaskan sama Ibu Nana. Tapi sebelumnya kita dengar dulu ya, Pak. Ada Pak Bimo Hadiputro. Beliau the chairman dari Indonesian American Chamber of Commerce Southern Central US. Yeah. So, Pak Bimo, maybe please, Pak, your remarks.
Ya, selamat sore Ibu Gina, terima kasih. Perbolehkan saya mohon izin untuk sharing sedikit power slide. Boleh di-share screen-nya, Ibu?
Ya, Pak Bimo jadi info host saja, Pak ya.
Boleh.
Ya.
Jadi sambil saya menunggu sharing rights, first of all, I'd like to thank our Consul General, Dr. Nana Juliana, for hosting this event this morning and this evening around the world. I'd like to also congratulate you, Pak Andito, for the National School of Export in Indonesia. It was a very nice launching. And of course, Ibu Gina, thank you for the support of the Foreign Ministry's Directorate of America 1. To export and import across our two great nations of US of A and Indonesia. And of course, our distinguished guests from the Food and Drug Administrations. Thank you for your time today to enliven and then to share your best practices and information to our audience in Indonesia. So let me check if I have the sharing ability now. Thank you. And lastly, of course, to our wonderful audience, without whom this communication platform wouldn't be available. I have a little bit of sharing. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah. Okay, Pak, please.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see your...
Thank you. So I'm representing the Indonesian American Chamber of Commerce, SCU, which stands for Southeastern Central U.S. We are a grassroots economic operating in collaboration with the Consulate General of the Republic of who is constantly in support of ourselves, and we work together to ensure that we develop not only the knowledge within the community, but also the promotion of trade and commerce between Indonesia and America. We believe in the motto of always working together, which is selalu baik bersama, and with that, it's our working model. I think this topic is very timely because looking at the American market, despite of the pandemic that has hit us, I pulled some data from the McKinsey & Company, a major global consultant firm. And here we have on the y-axis here a baseline data showing the credit card data spending, which is tracked from January until July. And we can see here from January, February, and March, before the pandemic, things are pretty much tracked along a zero baseline based on January. But interestingly enough, despite of the impact of the crisis in the initial stages in March and April, where you see like spending for general merchandise, entertainment, and everything else to be dipping down below the baseline of zero, we see that the credit card spending for food has actually increased by quite significantly. And what is hopeful and what is really positive that I see here is that the expected forecast, based not only on the data in April, May, June, and July, is expected to stay relatively strong and robust above the baseline of January. Jadi walaupun spending untuk kategori-kategori yang lainnya seperti yang non-food itu sempat anjlok, Bapak dan Ibu, food dan spending di Amerika ini masih tertunjang cukup tinggi karena memang ya kebutuhan untuk konsumsi food dan rempah-rempah dan makanan yang sifatnya sehat akan tetap berada. Di slide berikutnya dan yang terakhir, saya mengutip data dari organisasi namanya International Food Information Council, Food and Health Survey. So this is actually a survey that this organization had done in actually just recently. And what is interesting about this survey adalah the trend in the eating and food and preparation. So what I see here adalah bahwa lebih dari 40% dari konsumen kita di bawah umur 35 it's been reported bahwa mereka suka snacking lebih banyak daripada normal. Jadi sangat sebetulnya tinggi sekali oportunitasnya kita untuk mengekspor bahasa Jawanya kletikan atau cemilan ke Amerika. In addition, IFISH juga mengatakan bahwa 63% dari populasi Amerika yang berumur 50 ke atas sangat condong trending untuk konsumsi bahan-bahan makanan yang lebih healthy ya. Jadi the emphasis towards more healthy food is there and is here to stay. And finally, on a global perspective, according to Euromonitor, yang melihat bukan hanya spending di Amerika tapi di seluruh dunia, the global sales of clean label food products are expected to reach 180 billion di 2020. So beberapa interesting trennya ini adalah we see a lot more people cooking at home more, snackingnya lebih banyak, and then walaupun yang tidak preparasi food sendiri, saya melihat ini di sini adalah the trend bahwa more meals are delivered on a takeout basis ke rumahnya masing-masing. So in closing, I think this conversation mengenai how to import food ke Amerika is very relevant karena datanya juga menunjukkan bahwa trennya memang ada. Dan Amerika merupakan masih pasar yang terbesar ya, dan it's quite also easy to get into, especially as we hear how you can actually get into it from our colleagues at the Food and Drug Administration. Demikian, terima kasih atas kesempatannya untuk kontribusi. Mari kita engage in the meaningful conversation.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Bimo. Ya, terima kasih juga ini sudah dukung terus ini buat ekspor kita ini ke Amerika, dan khususnya juga terima kasih untuk dukungan untuk sekolah ekspor. Ini sekolahnya kita semua, sekolah lapangan ya. Jadi buat teman-teman juga semuanya, para peserta yang saya lihat sebagian besar adalah peserta dari sekolah ekspor, kita memang ingin agar kita ini bisa mengekspor lebih banyak lagi. Apalagi negara-negara seperti Amerika, tadi seperti disampaikan oleh Pak Bimo, masih potensial untuk kita. Tadi ekspor keletian sama keleningan itu mirip-mirip ya, keletian kan. Ya, jadi kita ingin agar ekspor kita memang lebih hari lebih baik. Nah, tentu saja kita ingin agar produk-produk kita makin bisa memenuhi persyaratan. Nah, FDA punya persyaratan yang ini nih tidak mudah untuk dipenuhi, karena ini hebat nih. Ya, saya harus apresiasi Ibu Konjen Houston, Ibu Nana, yang menghadirkan FDA dalam 2 seri. Yang pertama dulu dengan lawyer yang biasa ngurusin ini license untuk FDA. Dan sekarang dari FDA-nya sendiri. Jadi luar biasa nih Gina ya. Gimana Gina? Silakan Gina.
Yes. Welcome to our distinguished speaker, Miss Cindy Ford. Today, this is very special for us, for our webinar session, because we have you and your colleague from U.S. Food and Drug Administration, who will give us first-hand information on FDA regulation for consumer products. So, looking at Pak Bimo presentation, with food and beverage, but I guess that the products that need acquired approval, not just food and beverage, right? So let's hear from the expert Miss Cindy Ford. Please, the time is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It says that I don't have the right to share.
Oh, yeah, you as a co-host, you can share the.
Okay, now I can. Thank you so much.
Well,
1 second.
while we're waiting for the presentation, I want to greet Pa Asianto Sinambela. Good evening in Jakarta, Pa Asianto. Asianto used to be the Consul General of Indonesia in San Francisco. Thank you for joining.
Good evening,
Pa.
Consul General.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. I want to first say good morning, good evening. Thank you to everyone for joining today. And thank you to my colleagues from the FDA as well for joining this wonderful event today, this evening. My name is Cindy Ford, and I work for the Division of Import Operations at the Food and Drug Administration. And my colleague, Michael Valenzuela, is with me as well, and he is a supervisor, consumer safety officer, and he also works for the FDA. So we'll go ahead and get started, and then we'll take some questions after my presentation. Today, I will provide a general overview of importing articles into the United States, and we'll talk about the import process, import alerts, what they are, how firms and products may be added or removed to import alerts, and what it means for an article to be subject to detention without physical examination. Another topic today will be the Food Safety and Modernization Act, or FSMA, and I will also go into the Foreign Supplier Verification Program, or FSVP, and the Voluntary Qualified Importer Program, or VQIP. And then finally, we'll talk about some resources that you can check into on our website, and great tools for you to use that are accessible. So we'll go into that. And then I'll show you some data that I pulled for Indonesia specifically. We have 5 import field divisions at FDA. We have the Division of West Coast. We have the northern border, which is the yellow. It's a really large area here. And then we have the division of the northern border, southeast, and southwest. I am here in California, in the Northern California area near Sacramento, just for your information, so you can realize where I'm at. We have a variety of products that the FDA regulates. We have foods, except for some meat, poultry, and egg products, which are regulated by the Department of Agriculture. Human and veterinary drugs, vaccines and biological products, medical devices intended for human use, radiation-emitting electronic products, cosmetics, dietary supplements, and tobacco products. This chart shows the total number of product lines that were imported from 2009 to 2019. And the number is increasing every single year. I think it's about, I don't know, 5% to 10% increase every year. And just last year in 2019, we had over 45 million imported lines. And we don't see the number going down, it just keeps increasing. I ran some data and I pulled all the countries, and then I also did Indonesia data. So the blue bar graph is for all countries, and then in the white is the Indonesia numbers. And the average for Indonesia is around 124,000 imported entry lines of FDA regulated products per year. And then just to break down those numbers a little bit further, we have just fiscal year 2019 by commodity. And then again, in the middle column is all countries, and then the dark blue is just for Indonesia. And you can see that the largest number of imported FDA-regulated products that come in are human foods and housewares, followed by devices and cosmetics. And then the last table shows how many lines we examined, sampled, or were refused by the FDA for all countries, and then specific to Indonesia as well for fiscal year 19. And then the investigation activities that we conduct are based at random or for cause for various reasons, such as risk of the product, work plan obligations, or just part of our normal surveillance. And our regulatory authority is covered for imported products is covered under Section 801 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act, or the Act, which allows for refusal of imported FDA-regulated products that have an appearance of a violation. Articles are expected and required to be in compliance at the time of entry. And the reason for a refusal could be that the products would be adulterated, meaning that they were contaminated or not safe, or they don't meet applicable standards. They could be misbranded, meaning that there's some kind of labeling issue, misleading labeling information, or there was an unapproved new drug, or it was forbidden or restricted for sale. And I will note that most importers hire licensed representatives known as customs, brokers, or entry filers when offering their goods for entry. I'm not here to pitch this, but it's a good thing to have if you want to expedite your process and release some of the burden on you. You can hire a customs broker. And the entry filers can assist the importer by submitting necessary information and appropriate payments and taxes to U.S. Customs on behalf of the importer. Once the entry is submitted to CBP, if the articles are FDA regulated, CBP sends the entry over to FDA for our review. And the the licensed customs brokers, they have to take an exam, they know all the laws and regulations, and so they are very familiar with the process and all the different agencies. And there's a link on this PowerPoint where you can find a broker according to the location. Now, we have a screening process. I told you that we have 45 million lines that came in last year. Well, that's a lot of lines to review. So we have an automated process where 100% of these lines are screened electronically. And each of these lines is reviewed based on risk factors and surveillance requirements, to name a few. And the screening result may be a system review, or it may be a manual review by an FDA reviewer. We do at FDA have trained entry reviewers. They assess each of these entry lines that come in, and there are several things that they review. They look at the FDA data entry, like the country of production, the name and address of the manufacturer or shipper, the product code, any affirmations of compliance codes that come through. They look at our predict screening results. They look at our databases to see if the product or the firm was subject to detention or import alert. Was there any other information or historical knowledge that they have about the product or the firm? The entry reviewer will then decide if they will release the goods, obtain other information. They might need some additional documents, or they might set up the product for an examination or sample collection, or they might request detention if it was based on an import alert, or if there was lack of registration, for example. If the FDA does issue a release or a may proceed, the importer may distribute the goods into U.S. commerce, but we do have jurisdiction after the products are released through the domestic provisions of the Act, or the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act. And if a violation is later found, then the release does not prevent the FDA from taking action on an article. Now, if the FDA does decide to gather additional information, if we examine it or sample it, an examination might be done for things such as filth, where we look for rodent or insect activity, We'll look for storage conditions. How was the product brought in transit or stored? How is it mishandled? Was there labeling compliance? We look for various things on the product. We also do surveillance sampling, and these are driven by compliance programs, assignments, and other issues. Now, if we do collect a sample, we do analyze these samples in our own labs. We do not send them out to outside laboratories. They're analyzed in-house by FDA laboratories. If apparent violations are discovered through a field exam, the investigator will submit their findings to our compliance branch for their review. And then the compliance officer will then make their admissibility decision and detain or release these products. They will notify the importer through a notice of FDA action. If the articles are detained, the detention and hearing process will begin. And if no issues are found, the articles will most likely receive an FDA release or a release with comment. Now, if the FDA detains a shipment, the importer has the right to submit testimony to overcome the appearance of the violation through a detention and hearing process. These are informal meetings. You're not going to court. It's just an informal meeting with the compliance staff, and it provides the respondents an opportunity to present their evidence that will support the admissibility of an article. And depending on the violation, an example of this might be a private laboratory report. And normally it's around 10 business days that this testimony should be presented, but follow your FDA notice of action for specifics. And a detention is an administrative action that is different from a CBP detention, and we do not take physical hold of the product. Under 801 of the Act, the owner or consignee can take possession of the article or move it to a warehouse, but make sure that a bond is in place for this, with CBP for this. FDA will refuse admission if during the detention and hearing process, the product cannot be brought into compliance and the appearance of a violation is not overcome. If an article is refused, the importer can choose if they want to destroy or export the articles. And after the refusal, CBP will issue the redelivery notice. If they choose destruction, FDA or CBP will witness that destruction. Now, if it's exported, CBP will most likely verify that exportation. And if neither of these are done and you're not following through with it, the importer may have to pay up to 3 times the declared value of the goods. So make sure you do follow through on this if there is a refusal. And now we'll talk about import alerts. When a product and or firm appears to be violated and meets the criteria indicated in an import alert, it could be subject to detention without physical examination, or DWPE. When a firm and or product are subject to DWPE, we can detain the goods without even examining them because we've already established that there is an appearance or otherwise criteria based on past violations from previous shipments or from other sources of information. These violations could be related to product, manufacturer, shipper, and or other information, indicating that the product was in violation of the laws. And there's different types of import alerts. We have firm alerts, we have countrywide alerts. Firm alerts are specific to companies and to specific to a problem area. For example, Import Alert 9908 deals with pesticides. And this alert has over 1,500 firms and products on it due to illegal pesticide residues. There are specific products from specific firms subject to DWPE. Firms on this alert are placed on the red list. In order to be removed from the red list, you have to submit a petition for removal and show evidence that the issue has been resolved. Now, on the other hand, we have countrywide alerts that cover geographic areas. For example, Import Alert 2117, it's a DWPE for papaya from a certain country for salmonella. There was an outbreak of salmonella and a large number of positive samples from the country, which resulted. Yes? Is there a question?
Excuse me, Pa Handito, maybe the rest should be muted, Pa, so it doesn't interrupt the presentation, please.
Ya Bu, udah di mute ya. Ya, sudah di mute. Tadi ada yang ini.
Iya, ini gede sih. Ini kecil dua. Ini, iya.
Okay.
Iya.
So.
Ditaruh custom.
Okay. So the import alert for papaya, import alert 2117 is DWPE for papaya from all countries. And so there was a large number of positives for salmonella from this one country. And so all the papaya are now subject to DWPE unless the supplier is exempt or on the green list. And currently we have over 200 active import alerts. The number goes up and down depending on whether we deactivate one or add new import alerts, but we are revising them to update them. So the number does change, but on our website, there's a link here for the regulatory procedures manual. There's more information on import alerts if you want to look that up. Firms or importers may petition to be removed from DWPE, and our decision to remove a product or importer from DWPE is based on evidence establishing that the conditions that gave rise to the appearance of violation have been resolved, the cause of the violation has been corrected, and the agency has confidence that the future entries will be in compliance of the Act. The petition generally requires evidence that there has been non-violative shipments, but this depends on the specific import alert. So just check on the specific import alert that if you have a detention of a product, make sure you read all the details in there and follow your notice of action. Import alerts are publicly available too, and there's a link here for that. Now I'll briefly discuss food facility registration and owners and operators. Owners or operators are agents in charge of domestic or foreign facilities that manufacture, process, pack, or hold food in for consumption in the United States are required to register the facility with the FDA unless you meet an exemption. If there's no valid registration at the time of entry, your entry will be flagged. And there's a really great resource here, and I'm going to show that. Okay, so this is the link, and I want to say that they're divided by product commodities. So we have animal, veterinary, cosmetics, drugs, food. So you can kind of just scroll down the list of which commodity you want to look for, and then you can find some more information on the registration and listing. So this is a really great link. And that's on the website. Okay. And now we're going to switch to the Food Safety Modernization Act, or FSMA. FSMA is transforming our food safety system by shifting the focus from reacting to foodborne illness to preventing it. And with that, Congress enacted FSMA, which has several finalized major rules. Many of these FSMA rules involve the import program, including those listed on the slide. And I'm going to briefly touch on FSVP and VQIP. The Foreign Supplier Verification Program, or FSVP, is the cornerstone of FSMA's preventive risk-based approach to imports. The FSVP regulation, unless exempt, applies to all foods that are imported or offered for import into the United States, and the importers that are importing the foods. For the purposes of FSVP, an import is defined as the U.S. owner or consignee of a food that is offered for import into the United States. The FSVP regulation establishes that importers of human and animal foods will have an explicit responsibility to verify that their foreign suppliers have adequate preventive controls in place to ensure that the foods they're producing are safe, and they can ensure that the food is not adulterated or misbranded. There are certain activities that will be need to be done, and they will be verified. The FSVP importer must maintain certain records, and an FSVP inspection will be conducted by FDA. Normally, these FSVP inspections are done on site, but please note that due to COVID, we have announced that we will be doing them remotely. So if you do receive a response or a correspondence from FDA that they want to conduct a FSVP inspection, please work with the investigator and figure that out, because we are doing them remotely right now. So in rare situations, they will be done on site, but most of them are being done remotely right now. There's another link on the slide, and it talks about what to expect during an FSVP inspection, and I wanted to show that as well. And there's a fact sheet on here that provides a lot of information. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so there's headings on here for pre-inspection contact, how to prepare for the inspection, records requirements, what to expect during the inspection, and then the close of the inspection. So I advise you to also take a look at this link. Okay. And then now we're going to move on to VQIP, or Voluntary Qualified Importer Program. This is a voluntary fee-based program. Annual fees are collected on a yearly basis for anyone who's accepted into the program. And these fees are collected to cover our administrative costs. We have costs including reviewing the applications, conducting the inspections for both domestic or foreign inspections. There's IT costs, there's just various costs. And these fees are published in the Federal Register Notice. The VQIP application is not limited to one foreign supplier or one food product. And each application may include any number of foreign suppliers or products for the same fee. And there's many benefits for the VQIP. You get expedited entry into the US for any of your foods that are on an approved VQIP application. We set up import screening to recognize your shipments. If we do an examination or sample collection, you get expedited processing of that sample. We have a help desk, and also there's a list. You can put your name on a list that gets published, saying that you're a VQIP participant. There are many other benefits that I won't go into, but it's actually a really good program. So if you are interested in that, please check on our website for VQIP. There are other parts to FSMA that are related to imports, but I wanted to point out the FSMA Technical Assistance Network, or TAN, and I'll show you that link real quick. If you have any questions regarding FSMA, there is an online submit your question link right here, and you just click on it and ask away. They're pretty quick at responding. I don't want to speak for them, but I've gotten a lot of good feedback that they do respond quickly. If you prefer to mail in your question, there's that option too. So there's the address. So it's called TAN, FSMA Technical Assistance Network. All right. And then for the last part of my presentation, I wanted to go over some useful resources besides the ones we already covered, and including the FDA data dashboard. So the dashboard is a dynamic tool that anyone can access, and it allows you to customize your own data. And I'll show you that real quick. The data dashboard. I pulled it up already because there's so much data in here, it takes a long time to load. So if you go into the data dashboard home, this is the main page, what it looks like. And there's a how to use the dashboard tutorial here that's really helpful. There's an import summary, imports refusal, there's a VQIP importers here. So if you go to import summary, it's gonna load a bunch of data. And this is where you can apply your filters. You can pick a country you wanna look at, you can do your fiscal years, you can just apply a bunch of different filters and it will sort. And you can go in and play around with this data. Anybody can do it. It's taking forever to load. That's why I shouldn't have clicked out of there, sorry. I do have a screenshot of what it looks like, so I'll just get out of here and spare you guys from staring at the blank screen. Okay, this is what it looks like. So that's the main page. I showed you that. There's a tutorial up here, how to use the dashboard. And this is kind of small, I hope you can see it, but this is when I applied some filters for Indonesia. I applied for fiscal years 2018 and 19 just to see what comes up. And this is what it looks like. There's a ribbon up here where it tells you about the total number of lines, refused lines, examined lines. It's kind of like the data I pulled earlier in the presentation. This is just a different format. Gives you a chart here, and you can actually drill down into each of these categories, sorry. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. If you're into data, I definitely suggest going to the data dashboard. And you can do your own query. And then there's some other resources here. We have the ACE support, our FDA imports inquiry. If you have any general questions regarding imports at all, or removal for detention, DWPE, there's the email address here. There's our local office search here on fda.gov, and then prior notice. There's a guidance for industry for registration here. And then our import program page. We've recently updated our FDA page for the import program. So there's a lot of great resources there as well. VQuip. And then resources and information. I'm going to show you that. So this is our fda.gov page. There's a search menu up here if you wanted to just type in what you were looking for, if you already knew what you wanted, or there's a menu, and that will bring up products, topics, information, or you can just scroll down. If you know you want to look up drugs, you can just click on drugs. Or if you scroll down a little bit further, here's some resources and programs. What does FDA regulate? There's our import program page. I talked about that a little bit ago. There's some great information under inspections and compliance. If you wanted to know about safety alerts or warning letters. So I'll just show you our import program real quick. So on the left, there are some other links here, and you can click along and just see what's here. There's a product code builder. The data dashboard link is here, VQuip, and products, just all kinds of good resources. So. And that is, okay. Thank you so much. That is all I have today. I appreciate your time. And Terima kasih, I hope I said that correctly. I will I will now pass it back to you and see if we wanted to open up for questions now, or how did you want to proceed? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. I think Cindy has explained very well. Gimana Gina?
Thank you so much, Cindy, for the comprehensive and very resourceful presentation, Pak. So dari presentasinya Cindy, kita bisa melihat bahwa apa sih yang dilakukan sama FDA gitu. So we understand what are the steps that FDA do, you know, when our products come to USA, and what before that, and also when you inspect what's happened, and after that if we get violation in that. So it's very good, and thank you so much for the presentation. Oke, gimana Pak untuk, so now we come to ke question and answer sessions.
Ya. Jadi kita sekarang punya waktu cukup banyak nih, cukup baik untuk kita bisa ini ya, bisa ngobrol, bisa berkonsultasi. Ini bagus sekali ini kesempatannya. Oke, saya persilakan buat teman-teman semua sekalian, ya.
I wanna ask. I have a question.
Yes, of course. Would you please, what's your name?
Farida.
Okay.
Farida, yes.
Ibu Farida. Okay, please. Bu
From
Farida.
Jogja.
Oh, from Jogja, Bu. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Please.
Okay. Thank you. Cynthia, I wanna ask, I have my business frozen food, healthy low carb frozen food. Do you know keto? I think Cynthia, you know keto?
Yes.
Yes, keto. Yes, keto food. I make the keto food, healthy low carb frozen food, keto friendly. And I have a best friend. She stay in Queen, New York. When I talk with her about my dreams to export to America, she said that, oh my God, it's almost impossible from Indonesia. Is it? I asked her, and she said that it's very, very difficult for the requirement from the America FDA for the food import, because like this, you must have the certificate of fat grass from the meat, like that. Oh my God. And many requirements. And I want to ask you, is it true? Or is it true too, it's impossible for me to export to America? I make meatball, meatball, low carb meatball without flour. There is the 100% meat, gluten free and chemical free. Is it still opportunity for me to export to America? Thank you for explaining.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your question. And the answer is, it is not difficult, but it sounds like the product you're talking about is a meat product, which would be Department of Agriculture. If it's a meat ball, I think you said. There are certain requirements that each agency in the United States has. So that is part of when I was saying to hire a licensed customs broker to help you with these regulations, that would be my advice, to smooth the transition, because they do know all the regulations. That would be the first thing. And then secondly, just know which agency your product that you want to export into the United States, which agencies will be affected. Is it USDA and FDA? That's part of that would really help. So it is not impossible to import into the United States. No, it is not impossible. So I hope that helps.
Thank you. Hopefully I can export it.
I just wanted to echo some of the comments there.
There is no raise button. I want to ask to his hand.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes, of course.
Irwan, Handito.
Yeah.
Irwan, go ahead.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Cindy, if it is okay to call you Cindy. My name is Irwan. I'm a diaspora Indonesia in New Jersey right now. I would like to help some of these food exporters from Indonesia to come to US. A couple of questions that I would like to ask you is that about the labeling. What can we forward to you the label before we export the product, so that when we product, all the label is properly approved or okay by FDA? The second one is, many of these food producing company in Indonesia are small. I'm talking about very small, medium enterprises. So many of them, in fact, may be home industry. So I understand yes, is you're not allowed to do it at home to sell the product, food. Unless I'm wrong, I'm not so sure if I'm correct. It has to be a commercial kitchen or commercial production. What is the policy of the FDA now in terms of home industry or small, very small?
Ya bukan, itu anunya apa emailnya yang Learn Business Anywhere.
Hello?
Okay, so as far as the labeling goes, we do not pre-approve food labels. That is not something that we do. We do have some labeling information on our website under foods and under SIPSAN. So we do not pre-approve our labels for foods, but no, we do not do that. As far as home kitchens, I would have to look into that and get back to you unless my colleagues know about small home kitchens and requirements.
Hello, this is Michael. Just wanted to address that question and probably even before the question from Farida Rianti. Labeling is one of the biggest challenges that we encounter on imported goods. And that is one of the main deterrent, especially for, with foreign language that do not have English as their primary language. So like Ms. Cynthia Ford indicated, our website is full of information about guidance and specifics, and it's very detailed on the labeling requirements. And there is an exemption for small business. I don't know exactly what the details are, but I know that there is an exemption for that, and you'd have to put in and justify being qualified under that exemption. And again, that exemption is detailed in our website about labeling. So you can just simply search labeling, FDA labeling requirements. And honestly, it's kind of a mini book on how it is, very specific on even the size of the font and the fat content and how the table needs to look. It's very specific. But registration requirement, even for small or big, remains. So for manufacturers and foreign manufacturers, that's still a requirement. You still have to have a FDA registration, and that will be one of the steps that you have to go through in order to export into the United States.
I did put a link in the.
I'm sorry. Can I ask a question? So, for this labeling, are you talking about the exemption of labeling for a small business, or the FSVP for a small business? Is there, because I know that you have two types of FSVP going on, like the FSVP for a big importers and then the small one. Is it possible to explain that? And I also would like to know who is qualified for this VQIP.
Well, it's what I was speaking to about the small business exemption is specifically regarding labeling. But the FSVP and VQIP, those are two different programs, that are not directly related to importing specific item. But yes, there is small business and small entity exemptions for FSVP, but that's not what I was referring to. And I think Ms. Cynthia Ford added something. You want to talk about that in the chat box, Cynthia?
Yes, I did put two links in the chat. I put one for just general labeling, for a link for general labeling, and then I put the small business nutrition labeling exemption link in the chat as well. So there are certain requirements that it's exempt, if you're exempt, if you have gross sales of less than a certain amount of money. So just read up on that if you are thinking you're qualified for an exemption for labeling. So both of those links are in the chat.
Right. So to answer the previous question and the previous question from Irwan, it is not impossible. You just have to kind of do your legwork on the research about those things, about the registration of the firm and the labeling. And there are exemptions for small businesses, even the small kitchen.
Can I have a question about labeling too, sir? Mr. Michael?
Sure.
So I Okay, so I have an experience trying to help Indonesian small business to send coffee. It takes like almost 6 months for us to get approved because even though I can read all the details in the website, sometimes we have our own assumptions. Like, so my question is there any like further intensive training that I can join about being export import to United States in particular, so I can meet American standard? Like, I would love to join it, even though I have GPA. But I got some kind of certification and I understand the details. And then Cynthia, thank you very much for the presentation. Can I have the material of the presentation because it's very good. So that's my two questions. Thank you, sir.
You have a question?
Well, regarding the first question, I just want to do a follow-up there. I'm not sure exactly what you meant by the 6 months to get approved. What approval was that for?
Venezuela. It's all about the packaging. So like, we are sending the packaging design to United States, but we should use, for example, we should use a different kind of plastic, like more recycled plastic, and then how we use the fonts and then the nutrients, because previously we don't have any information here, so we just try it. So it's more detail about all about packaging. It's not just labeling.
I think Ms. Cynthia Ford covered a little bit earlier about that we do not approve labeling prior to your importation. So I'm not sure who you're submitting this information to for.
Not to FDA, but what I mean is maybe you have some kind a KJRI maybe have a further training, like intensive training, because this short webinar is very useful, but I think we need like intensive training so we can understand like the detail, the techniques and everything, sir. That's what I meant.
Thank you, Mbak. Siapa ya yang asli?
Saya Mbak Dewi.
Dewi ya. Why don't you show your face, Mbak Dewi, so I can identify.
Last night I joined kepabeanan training. I just wake up. I don't have shower. I look so ugly.
Right, Mbak Dewi.
I have to wake up at 3 o'clock here.
Yeah, Mbak Dewi, this is the second webinar that we had. Last time we invited the FDA lawyer to share with us what is the the regulation, the all those things, and we invited also one of the diasporas in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, who already exported spices from Indonesia, and he also has a restaurant in Tulsa, Oklahoma. His name is Pak Asno. And he shared also about labeling. He showed his product and then he showed the labeling, the font and everything. Probably you can also open the YouTube of Sekolah Export. Is it still there, Pak Handito? So everybody can get access with that, with our webinar regarding the FDA regulation also. But it is presented by the FDA lawyer, and also one diaspora in Tulsa who already exported spices to rendang spices to United States. Yeah. It is true what Cynthia mentioned, that he also hired CBP broker? CBP broker beside the FDA lawyer to expedite and also to help the process of administration in FDA itself. So Mbak Dewi, probably Pak Handito can share if the video or the YouTube from last webinar we made with the consulate still there. But so far, I think Sekolah Export can translate in Bahasa, so it will be easier for the candidate of exporter to understand what is the step and how to, a lot of information in FDA, what Cynthia shared with us. There have each link. If you want to understand about labeling, if you want to understand about all those, you know, regulation and everything. Yes, Pak Handito, seems
Ya, Bu.
like you're nodding.
Ya, Bu, terima kasih Ibu Konjen. Jadi buat Ibu Dewi tadi, jadi memang nanti
Pak, di unmute Pak.
Ya, Bu, terima
Unmute.
kasih. Ya, jadi Ibu Dewi, terima kasih Bu Konjen. Jadi untuk informasi yang pertemuan FDA yang lalu dengan ini ya, itu nanti silakan masuk ke channelnya Learn Business Anywhere. Nanti sama operator akan diinformasikan. Jadi ada YouTube-nya di sana, nanti silakan. Tapi kalau tadi seperti sampaikan Ibu Konjen, kalau nanti ada mau belajar lebih lanjut lagi, kalau belum daftar di sekolah ekspor, daftar, gitu ya. Masuk aja email aja lah ke halo@sekolahekspor.com, nanti biar dilayani di sana. Ini kita bagian belajar. Ya, mungkin ada yang lain mau nanya lagi.
Tanya Pak. Pak Andito, could I share something? Could I share something, Pak Andito?
Yes, of course, Pak.
Pak Asyanto.
Pak Asyanto.
Ya, Pak Asyanto. Oke, Pak Asyanto. Silakan, Pak Asyanto. Silakan.
Yeah, this is something that I would like to share with regard to Ibu Dewi's question.
Yeah.
Bu Dewi, we have somebody in California, Pak Sugi Suherman. He is an Indonesian broker. So he is a very helpful and very resourceful regarding the regulations of FDA and whatever with regard to import to the United States. So please contact him, Pak Sugiharto Suherman. He's very good and he's also a custom broker. So once you deal with him, and he will help you to release your products once it's in the U.S. territory, especially at the seaport. So we have someone Pak di sana, Pak Nito, namanya Pak Sugi Suherman, yang selama ini dia certified custom broker. So he managed all importation in the last 10 years, mostly from Thai and also from the Philippines, but from Indonesia is very few. So that's why I'm referring you to communicate with Pak Sugi. I can share his number and email later on. Thank you.
I will appreciate that, sir. Actually, I already maklum production here.
Oh ya, sebentar. Ini mungkin Pak Bimo bisa kasih bisa bantu, Pak Bimo, silakan Pak Bimo.
Terima kasih Pak Andito. Saya sudah menangkap pada beberapa pertanyaan yang around the same topic. So I think pertanyaannya lebih baik diarahkan ke Michael or Cynthia. Michael or Cynthia, there's been a lot of questions about regulations and how to assist folks coming in from Indonesia to export to the US. From the Food and Drug Administration's perspective, what are your recommendations for exporters to choose the appropriate and the right broker, lawyer, or agents? Is there a recommended tip or recommendations that is by you? Can you share some of your insights on that, and we'll take it from there.
Excuse me. Can I ask you some questions, please?
Go ahead, Michael. You answer the question first.
Yeah, Michael, please.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
So, with regards to getting assistance with a customs broker, we don't make any specific recommendations on who or what, but I can provide some guidance on how you may be able to think about selecting one. You should select a broker who has a lot of experience, not based on pricing, because we have experience here in Houston who offer a very low, charge, I guess, for the services that they provide. But there's a lot of problems that comes with that in our experience. I can't say that for all of them, but in our experience, the ones that are just trying to make money and have no experience in dealing with Asian products or Asian labeling or specific packaging or types of food, it's likely to have more problems. So I would recommend somebody who has a lot of experience in dealing with Asian type food products and importation, and dealing with the FDA, CBP, and the other agencies. And that reminds me also that some of the information that Dr. Juliana indicated earlier, that some of the products that are highly exported to the United States are machinery, footwear, rubber, meat, fish, and things like that. We don't regulate all of that. So keep in mind that you have to be dealing with many other government agencies. Cynthia Ford indicated earlier in her presentation what specific products we cover. And it's already a large amount of list, but like rubber, furniture, we don't regulate that. So in those cases, I cannot give advice on certain requirements. We are strictly dealing here on this meeting about food and drug and cosmetics products. So I just want to say that and put it out there. That's probably be a good idea to meet with other agencies and to find out their importing process, because they may be very different from the FDA. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Hadiputro.
Yes, Michael, thank you very much.
Michael,
Yeah.
can I
Can I
ask
have a question?
Ya,
Can I
ya,
have a
boleh.
question?
Silakan. Ya,
Can I have a question?
ya, oke. Silakan. Okay, please.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I want to ask to see Miss Cynthia, and if we have the labeling for certain product, can we share it to another Indonesian manufacturing or small enterprise who produce the same identical product? Because every time I make a label, I have to, pay for labeling. So how can I share it voluntarily? Second, about food facility register. For small enterprise, can you share standard kitchen and food processing so we can adjust accordingly, we can maintain in Indonesia? For big food facility, when and how often you audit it? Because I represent some food facility, but they never ask audit. But I'm worried if something happened, they find in the food and we are in trouble. Thank you, Cynthia.
Okay, thank you. Cynthia, please.
Okay, thank you for the question. We do our inspections on a routine basis, and they could be random, they could be for cause. So we have our certain assignments, or we could show up. John Sproul, are you still on the phone?
Hello? Yeah.
No, he's not.
I think.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was muted there, Cynthia. Go ahead.
I was going to see if you wanted to add on that, as far as she asked of how often the FDA inspectors come to do the foreign inspections. And I said that we do them randomly, we do them for cause. And I was going to see if you wanted to add on to that and introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, thank you. Yeah, John Sproul, Office of International Programs. Just to remind the folks that we're dealing with the home kitchen question, that there still would be subject to the food safety regulations. So an inspection could occur and special accommodations would need to be addressed if it's at a home facility and a home kitchen, but still commercial expectations of food safety and regulatory compliance is there. So food safety is first, and for the manufacturer, of course, and FDA's consideration of inspections in that site could occur unannounced. So that's something to keep in mind. Granted, we always attempt working with foreign regulators to have those pre-inspections notified with a foreign regulator, but that's just something to have a consideration. So thank you.
Okay.
But since it's in Indonesia, can you, if you're about to inspection, we need to share the cost. So when you come once, for example, for a region of Java, you come inspection at once. So one day you can inspect several facilities instead of show up unexpected. It's because this is about share cost and share preparation for foreign facility.
Okay, thank you, Bu Cornelia. I see many person who also would like to ask the question. Gina, ada di mana kan Gina?
Boleh, Pak Andito, boleh bertanya?
Iya, sebentar Pak, satu-satu. Saya nyari dulu Ibu Ginanya di mana ini Ginanya.
Hadir.
Ya, Ibu Gina, tolong dibantu ditranslatein barangkali. Oke, silakan.
Okay, so Cynthia, there is a question here about, actually there's still kind of confusion what kind of products that has to be compliance with FDA regulation. Some of them ask about mug sleeves, mug cozy, and also about houseware, and also about the essential oils. So can you help us about what kind of type of the products that need to get registration of FDA?
Okay, I heard essential oils, and what were the other products?
The houseware.
Oh, housewares. Yes, we definitely regulate housewares.
Aku lagi kuliah ekspor.
So on our website, we do have lists of what FDA regulates. So I suggest that you go to our website, fda.gov, and go on there to see what FDA does regulate. And housewares is one of them. We regulate dietary supplements, cosmetics, foods, drugs, devices. I mean, there's a variety of products. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. So
can I ask, Mbak Gina, can I ask the question about the importing? So the most important steps for the exporters or the manufacturers in Indonesia is actually the FSVP, the foreign supplier verification program, which is the verification of the facility and how the food is produced. Now, we are all now filing FSVP to be able to import our product to the US. My question is, and how FDA verify this foreign supplier manufacturer? Do you conduct interview with the manufacturer owner, or you just wait until the item is in here and then do inspection in the port, or do you have another step? Because I understand that other thing that required is actually coming from the importer. So importer has to do all of the paperwork. So the only thing that the manufacturer in Indonesia need to know is the FSVP, because you have to make sure that your facility is meet up with the FDA requirement. So yes, back to my question, how do you verify this?
I can speak to that a little bit about the FSVP inspection. Are you speaking from the point of view of the manufacturer, or what's your role in this process?
I am importing food, and
okay.
all this time that we are using an agent, and I would like in the future that I would be able to do this myself. So I really need to know how the FDA do this.
Okay. So it depends on a few things. First, if you are based outside of the United States, if you do not have a US office, you are required to have a US agent, somebody in the United States that we can visit and speak with, and that person or firm will be considered the FSVP importer. Is that correct? Is that the way your business is set up, wherein you are foreign, you are based in Indonesia, or are you in the United States?
I am in the United States.
I asked that because there's a different process. So
Yes, so we are in the United States, and I import. You know, we are actually trying to import few stuff. We already filing some of the paperwork. So my question is actually, I would like to do it myself. Yes, the manufacturer in Indonesia has appointed a U.S. agent in here, and we already file all of the requirements, like the product details, the HACCP, you know, all of that. And then we have the U.S. agent, but I have never know how the FDA conduct, you know, because I don't know. Will you call the U.S. agent or how do you do it?
Well, let me start from the beginning. So when you're filing an entry, when you're importing, let's say, shipment of fish, or let's say shipment of, you know, canned pineapples or something like that. So when your customs broker file it, they would need, or they are required to identify the FSVP importer. So once that happens, we get the email address, the phone number, the name of the person. So my team is in charge of going to that facility or calling them if it's a remote inspection, say, hey, you've been identified as the FSVP importer for these pineapples that were shipped in 2009 December. Where is your documents? Where are your FSVP documents that you know, that's required for you to have? So that's what we do it. And one of the slides that Cynthia put out has a little link about what to expect on an FSVP inspection. So basically, we ask for the documents, and we outline the regulation and what the requirements are. So it's pretty much all of the requirements lie on the importer, and that would be you in that case. You can definitely work with your foreign supplier to get some of the information, but it's still on you to assess and evaluate some of the information. It's on the importer's responsibility, on your shoulder, to make sure that everything and all the requirements are, you know, are complied with. What else? I think there was another part to your question. We do not visit the foreign firm. We do not visit the manufacturer in Indonesia. That will be your job as the FSVP importer. Your job is to make sure that, you know, they are complying with the food safety regulations. That can be done by you yourself, or you can hire somebody, a third party, to audit them, or you can rely on the Indonesian government if they do a inspection at their facility. And you can include all that in your records. So when we come to your office here in the United States, you can show what you've done to evaluate the foreign supplier, that you've done their approval, and you're doing all these HACCP or whatever requirements or hazard analysis that's required to have for the product. Does that answer some of your questions? If not, just let me know.
Yeah. There's been a pending question from Mr. Rian in Vero. He's been raising his hand for a while.
Yeah. I see still have many questions, but I think we can give one more two more questions. Yeah. Maybe Pak Bimo, anything you would like to say?
I also karena banyak sekali rekan-rekan di Indonesia yang ingin bertanya. Satu, saya lihat ada satu yang sudah raising hand cukup lama, yaitu Adrian Rin.com. Mungkin dipersilahkan Pak
Rian, ya?
Untuk bertanya.
Rian, siapa?
Rian, ya.
Siapa Pak? Rian?
Rian, ya.
Virgo.
Oh ya, ini fan-nya Ibu ini Ibu Konyi.
Selamat malam.
Ya, oke Rian, silakan.
Good night everyone. Good morning. So very good webinar. It's awesome. It's a second time, but we still need a lot to learn. I think to make things simple, Cynthia and Michael here, if you can maybe share us some informations. Indonesians are very used to agents, you know. If we could have maybe FDA agents in Indonesia, that will be help us a lot. Even Indonesians, we use agents to apply for US visa to make sure that all of our documents is perfect, you know. So it's our habit, yeah. I think it's gonna be helpful, and if we don't have it yet, then it might be a business opportunities, ya, Pak Andito.
Iya, iya. Jadi maunya pakai agent aja ya. Okay.
Karena harus baca, because we are to read all of those perfectly complete information. Maybe to make things simple, if you have any information about FDA agent in Indonesia, it will be perfect for us. And then the second thing is maybe it will be also help us if you could share us maybe a chart of what steps should we do for applying these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Wirgurian.
I have sent private message to Michael and Pak Bimo.
Ya, oke, thank you. Kina, mungkin ada bisa dibacakan yang pertanyaan chat-chat yang itu untuk disampaikan. Kina, silakan.
Well, just to address some of the points that Rian Virgo was asking, FDA agents are located around the world. We provide, information about regulations, but we have to watch the line, and we're always reminded about the separation of doing our own regulatory work and consulting job. So that's one thing that we do not specifically do, is to give advice and specifics on how to do this and that. But I did hear from Asianto earlier that there's some expertise in the San Francisco area about importing. So that would be one way of going around this and having that central person share the knowledge, share with the Indonesian community, importing or exporting community about how things are expected to process in order to be in compliance with FDA regulation. Because the other question from Rian is that if there's a chart, there isn't one simple chart, because as you can see from the presentation from Ms. Ford earlier, is very complex. It's just not going to be a very simple linear or even like a branch type of a relationship. If that, then this kind of process, there's a very numerous amount of factors that affect the importing process. Really, it takes a lot of legwork, and we try to put out as much of information on our FDA website that's available to you to do the process. And just based on my experience, because I also used to work for the USDA as well as CBP, and based on my experience, the most successful importers, especially who are just starting out, is a lot of patience and a lot of trial and error. And also, I don't know if it's a part of the Indonesian culture to just share the knowledge and just be a community effort to get this going and take advantage of the economics right now, especially with the pandemic, and to just really be working together. And this school of export is really a great idea to have this going for the country. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what else to say besides, just do the diligence, the hard work, and it looks like there's a lot of effort shown in the attendance in this and the effort that you are putting forth in this event. So.
Yes, Michael, that's true that I think we have to learn a lot of regulations that Cynthia already presented. Of course, there are a lot of things the administration of FDA that should be complied by the exporter. It's great that Pa Asianto already shared with us about Pa Sugiharto Suherman. Probably for next agenda, Pa Handito, we can invite him because he is Indonesian, and probably he can explain more detail what to do. And it is very complex and it is very rigid. But the first thing we have to do, I think you have to get the partner from US side. So they are the one who will be helping the Indonesian exporter to export to the United States. It will be easier once you get the partner in the US itself. Regarding, I just want to respond a little bit about the questions on the chat. Pasar kopi luwak, coffee from Indonesia is very popular, especially in Midwest and especially in East Coast and West Coast. Probably Gina can share how it is in LA when she was assigned in LA. But kopi luwak, usually the roaster here, they like the bean, the green beans, because they will mix with other beans, you know, not only from Indonesia but also from other countries before they sell to the coffee shop, for example. So probably Gina can share how the interest of the people. I know Consulate General of Indonesia in SF, in California especially, they always make a presentation regarding coffee. Regarding the what kind of products that the US need from Indonesia, there is I think the chat mentioned that gula merah, we need gula merah, brown sugar from Indonesia, because the brown sugar here in Asian market is different with our gula merah or our brown sugar. So there is an opportunity if you send to United States about the gula merah, gluten-free, jamu-jamu, you know, Indonesian people also like the herbs, healthy food, and other thing. I just want to have a look on the chat here.
Ya. Ini ada Pak Samuel juga pengen nanya, Bu.
Pak Samuel, ya silakan. Kratom, Pak, one more thing. Kratom, there is an interest from the Indonesian
Kratom ya, Bu ya.
Indonesian to export kratom from Indonesia to, especially from Kalimantan, that is true, to US. But in United States itself, about kratom, it is still you know, a lot of debate whether it regarded, you know, is categorized as what is it, addicted or not. But in Indonesia itself, it is illegal to export kratom out of the country.
Ya, ya.
That's all, Pak Handito.
Ya, Bu, saya masukin satu lagi ya, Pak Samuel ya.
Okay.
I wanted to clarify one thing real quick, that we were talking about inspections, FDA inspections and FSBP inspections, and those are done in the United States, and currently we're doing them remotely, where we used to do them on site. There's also foreign inspections where we will actually travel to different countries and we will conduct an inspection on site in a foreign manufacturer processor. So I just wanted to be clear that we do inspections at foreign facilities as well. So that's not FSBP, but that's just for foreign manufacturers and processors. So I just wanted to clarify that. Any additional information on that, Michael?
No, thank you for the clarification. That is a very good distinction of the two types of inspections. For FSVP, we do not go to the foreign firm, but yes, we do have normal inspections at the facilities in Indonesia or other countries outside of FSVP.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Okay, Pak Samuel, bisa ini segala. Ini silakan Pak Samuel.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Andito. Sorry, my English is not so fluently. Yeah, I try to ask Miss Cindy. It's about the FTA program. Recently, we have launching Australia Indonesian FTA.
Mungkin sorry, ini tentang ini aja Pak, yang tentang FDA aja Pak.
Yeah.
FDA,
yeah.
Ini is about FDA Pak, not FTA. This is about Food and Drug Administration.
Okay. Thank you. Ya, oke.
Pakai bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa Pak?
Oke, terima kasih. Saya skip ya. Jadi begini, Saya mau tanya tentang halal. Bagaimana kaitannya dengan halal? Karena market kami juga bisa jadi diaspora yang Muslim di Amerika, Pak.
Oke, halal ya Pak ya. Baik.
Ya, betul. Terus yang kedua Pak, mengenai ini Pak Handito. Mengenai kami ada exporting itu nutmeg ya, atau pala begitu.
Pala ya.
Sementara ini adalah bukan panganan olahan gitu,
ya,
atau
ya.
FDA begitu. Nah kira-kira
ya, Pak, ya.
tipsnya begitu Pak. Pak Handito itu. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Ya, ini kalau tentang halal harus tanya ke Ibu Nana ini. Bu, gimana Bu?
The market for halal food, there is a question, Cynthia and Michael, about halal food. I think the regulation is still the same thing through FDA, but the market of halal food is great because every year there is a convention of Islamic Society in United States, and Houston has been the 2 times become the host. The mayor, Texas has been the host for Islamic Society of convention. They call it, ISNA, Islamic Society in North America. And they present a big market for a Muslim in the United States. So there is an opportunity for halal food also sold in United States, Pa. I believe Cynthia and Michael will say that the regulation of all those things are the same thing, except that we put more labeling that the product is halal. Is it true, Cynthia? What about the halal food to export to United States? Do you have any comment on the halal food itself, please?
I do not.
If it's a food that we regulate, then it is under our jurisdiction. So as far as that goes, halal, I am not familiar with those regulations, if there are any under FDA. Michael, are you?
I don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe that halal designation on food is an FDA, jurisdiction. I think the USDA, just like the certification for being organic, is part of their purview. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that that is the case. It's a USDA, purview on determining halal and labeling on that.
USDA is United States Department of Agriculture, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so
I would say that because since meat is largely, regulated by the USDA, so that's something that should probably be discussed with the USDA, Department of Agriculture, and not with FDA.
Not with FDA. All right. Yeah, maybe next time we can have an agenda to talk or to invite the United States Department of Agriculture. Yeah. The same thing also when there is meat coming to Indonesia. Kementerian Pertanian will take part also to check, to do the inspection for the food coming to our country as well. Yeah.
Right. We have very good contacts here with Customs and Border Protection, their agriculture side, as well as the USDA. And we can also invite other parts of the importing industry or importing agencies here at the port, like the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and like I said, CBP. They would have a lot of information and help clarify and cover all the other products that Indonesia exports into the United States.
Mm-hmm. We can you can keep contact and you can provide us the information so we can talk with them then.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Michael, yes, because in chat room, we also see that some question related, they ask about is the fresh commodity like fruits and also like onion, also inspected by FDA, I mean regulated by FDA. So, and that's the one. And the second one is Mr. Wijaya asking about detergent and dishwashing. Is it also regulated by FDA for this product? So maybe you can answer it, Cynthia or Michael. Thank you.
Regarding the fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that, that is dual jurisdiction. The USDA has requirements on what comes in depending on the country. But with the FDA, our concerns are things like filth or microorganisms, like in papayas or, things like that. So we have different concerns, but both USDA and FDA have concerns about imported fresh fruits. So you'd have to check with both agencies to see about that. Regarding detergents, not necessarily as per definition, because that would be soap, unless there would be claims on the labeling such as antimicrobial or something like that that would qualify it as a drug, like an over-the-counter type of drug. In that case, it would be an FDA regulated item. But in simple terms of just being a detergent to clean clothes or dishwashing liquid and things like that, I don't think that's FDA regulated.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, I'd like to borrow your words. I guess since we're getting close to the closing time, you had mentioned earlier about working together. I'd like to use that to address the audience. One of the personal meanings, salah satu hikmah yang saya dapati dari pengalaman pandemi ini ya, adalah betapa pentingnya kita bekerja sama. Just like Michael had mentioned about working together. Bekerja sama dan terbuka secara transparan. Banyak sekali pertanyaan mungkin yang masih ada di chat. Saya arahkan itu untuk diarahkan ke economic@indonesiahouston.net. Itu akan terarah ke pihak KJRI Houston atau alternatif di program @iacc-scu.org. Dari segi ekspor makanan ke Amerika, America is open for business. America is adalah market yang bagus dan open. Namun walaupun demikian, semua peraturan yang diutarakan adalah untuk kepentingan bersama. It's for our protection in the U.S. and it's for the benefit and understanding of all exporters globally. So for that reason, dari segi transparansi, banyak sekali resourcesnya dari Kementerian Luar Negeri, Ibu Gina Fadila, dan representasinya di KJRI di sini, Dr. Nana Yuliana, Konsul Jenderal. Juga resources dari Sekolah Ekspor, National School of Export, great resources. Congratulations sekali lagi. Dan sekali lagi, I point your attention to the chat for the email addresses yang tertera. Sebaik mungkin kita akan follow up pertanyaannya ke pihak masing-masing. Demikian selalu baik bersama dan terima kasih. Monggo Bu Konjen dan Pak Handito.
Pak Handito, I read the chat that Pak Sugiharto, the one that mentioned by Pak Asianto Sinambela, is already joining our program. Pak Sugiharto, can you say something? Where are you now, Pak?
Pak Sugiharto.
Can you invite Pak Handito?
Yeah.
Already invite Pak Sugiharto.
Pak Sugiharto. Pak Sugiharto udah masuk belum ya?
Pak Asianto.
Oh ya, Sugi Suherman.
Sugiharto Suherman. Yeah. Can you share, Pak Sugiharto, your experience in exporting goods from Indonesia to United States, please?
Ya, silakan Pak Sugi.
Halo, selamat pagi. Selamat malam. Good morning. Hi Cynthia, how are you? Michael.
You know each other, Pak Sugi?
Yeah, I know Cynthia for a long time actually. My last email with Cynthia is back in 2016 when she mentioned she moved to Gayok headquarters. Back in 2016. Anyway, Should I say it in English or Indonesian?
No problem, Pak. In English aja nggak apa-apa. Terserah sih, terserah Bapak.
Both lah, Pak. Both. There are a lot of questions regarding exporting foods from Indonesia to United States, Pak. As you are also working with, is that CBP? Bapak memfasilitasi untuk para eksportir kita, mungkin it's better you speak in bahasa so everyone will understand clearly, Pak.
Oke, siap, Bu.
Please permit us, Cynthia and Michael, for Pak Sugi to speak in bahasa. Yes, Pak.
Oke, saya ini custom broker, jadi di Amerika. Memang kita menghandle clearance untuk custom FDA, agriculture, 90% makanan. Jadi memang company kita menghandle 90% makanan, terutama dari Southeast Asian countries. Kebanyakan dari Filipina, dari Thailand, Taiwan, Korea, Jepang, China, Indonesia juga ada. Jadi kalau misalkan ada yang mau ekspor atau yang mau import di US, yang perlu tahu peraturan-peraturannya, ya kita bisa bantu semuanya, dari A sampai Z. Kita benar-benar paham makanan apa, barang apa, bukan makanan pun juga kita bisa clear. Jadi kita bisa bantu perizinannya juga, karena untuk import makanan banyak sekali peraturan-peraturan, terutama dari agriculture. Terus untuk FDA juga banyak peraturan, jadi biasanya kita guide dari sebelum import. FDA yang paling utama itu adalah labelnya harus tepat, karena labelnya itu kalau misalkan ngaco nanti di sini bisa di-detain, mesti di-labeling lagi, bisa ada refusal. Jadi untuk supaya menghindari itu, kita dari Indonesia sebelum diekspor udah dicek dulu, make sure labelnya itu udah in compliance. Kebanyakan kalau dari agriculture itu segi dari perizinan. Agriculture biasanya mereka melihat dari kalau barangnya ada dairy product, kayak semacam susu kayak gitu.
Ya, oke. Ini Pak ngomong-ngomong, Pak Sugi ada di Indonesia atau lagi di Amerika?
Saya lagi di Amerika, Pak.
Oh, di Amerika.
Ya, kantor kami di San Francisco sama ada di Los Angeles juga. Cuman kita clear seluruh US, Pak, dari West Coast sampai East Coast.
Ya.
Boleh minta nomor kontak dan emailnya Pak Sugi ya?
Ya.
Sebentar saya ini copy and paste di chat ya. Jadi kalau ada yang apa kita bisa jawab-jawabin semua.
Betul, betul, Pak.
Thank you, Pak. Oke, terima kasih. Saya rasa bagus tuh nanti Pak Sugi ya. Gimana Gina? Siapa lagi Pak Gina? Masih ada waktu beberapa menit lagi, dikit lagi habis tuh.
Ya, ada nih satu Pak. Ini Ibu Star. Tadi Ibu Dewi kalau nggak salah. She asked about the would you please explain further about other certification examples like vegan, keto, or non-cruelty? It's easy to get those certification when we private label or white labeling in USA, but it is confusing when we're trying to get the certification by ourselves. Do you have any comment on that, Cynthia, Michael?
I don't, Cynthia, do you? I would have to look it up and have to get back to them on that.
Okay, okay.
That was certification for vegan or keto or non-cruelty. Yeah. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
That I do not have any information about that either. We could look that up and get back to you for some resources. We'd have to follow up on that.
Okay. Thank you. This is asked by Ibu Miss Dewi Crackman. Okay. And Pak Handito mungkin ada yang bisa ini. Yeah, I think most of the questions still about the food and also about some of them ask about is it okay for SMEs to send like herbs, spices to USA? Is it also have to comply with FDA?
I'm not sure what SME is.
SME is a small medium enterprise. Yeah.
Is small medium is a small business. Here
Small
you call it
business,
small
yeah.
business. Yeah, small business, right.
Maybe do you have any special permission to small company to enter the US market, maybe? Special treatment, maybe?
I don't think there is a, as far as you comply with the FDA regulation, Pak. Small, medium, or big doesn't really matter.
Same,
as far as there is a market and then you comply with the FDA registration, then you can export to the United States. The detail, the detail of FDA, that's the thing that we have to learn it thoroughly. And I'm sure through Pak Sugi probably, maybe we can invite him, especially to explain more detail. And I was thinking maybe for the next agenda, we can also invite the USDA, United States of Department of Agriculture, to just to know. Even us, the Consulate General of Indonesia in Houston, we haven't contacted them to get more information regarding food and especially the meat, probably the meat. So
also
for next agenda, we can talk about that. In the meantime, probably Pak Sugi also can be one of our speakers to explain more detail about the, you know, like what he explained, the regulation and then the border, the CBP, etc., etc. Some of us probably we don't get any thorough understanding about the complicated regulation and very detailed regulation. But if it is explained in Bahasa, maybe will be easier for everyone to understand. And Pak Andito.
Okay.
We go back to you, Pak Andito and Gina.
Maybe because,
probably we run out of time.
Maybe because we just have only 8 minutes more. Michael, you have any something suggestion or maybe something you would like to give recommendation to Indonesian businessmen about how to enter the US market?
Well, just thanks for the opportunity today. Other than, you know, every port in the United States is pretty much staffed with people like me who have local knowledge and expertise on the products that we see. So depending on the port that you're dealing with, I would really encourage you all to reach out to your individual customer base and what local FDA office is servicing that particular port. And we are definitely there to provide assistance, provide information on what, you know, what's happening, updates on regulation, and maybe give you some trends and what we were seeing problems with regards to the products that you'd like to import or you're currently importing. I just saw one message on the chat that I wanted to kind of bring up in this opportunity here, and that's regarding sending samples prior to exporting. No, we do not look at your samples and analyze it and then approve it to be exported. We don't do it that way. You know, it just, a lot of people are trying to do that just to see, just to test the market. But what you can do is do an actual importation and see how that goes through in the system. I mean, we're not going to give you feedback and say that this has been approved and you can keep doing it, or, you know, something like that. But I just wanted to see and address that question that I just saw in passing over here. But we're here to help is basically what I'm saying. So we're here to accommodate and to facilitate the import process. So don't be shy about reaching out to me, to headquarters, or to your local port operations with the FDA and other agencies.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much, Michael, also Cynthia. Oh, maybe Cynthia, you would like to say something?
I would. Thank you so much. I also wanted to say that we have updated our website, so there's so much information on there, and I hate to refer you to something to just read, but that is the best way because we've really updated it, and it's right at your fingertips. So take the time and do the work and read the information because it's there. So before you start asking the questions, you know, take the time and do that. I'm glad that Sugi was able to get on this call today and we'll be able to help some of you. You know, I have worked with him since he's a broker, and I did some filer audits on him. So I've known him for several years. So I'm glad that you guys have that resource now as far as a customs broker. So that's been a great opportunity during this call. And I hope that you were able to learn something today during this call. And I thank you so much for your time and you're spending your evening with us here. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. It's very meaningful. Today we have many useful information and education and many things. Oke, sebelum nanti saya minta Ibu Nana menutup sama dibalikin ke Gina, mungkin Pak Bimo ada something sedikit lagi yang mau disampaikan?
Rasa cukup, Pak, sudah mendekati kami tutup. Terima kasih.
Ya, tapi yang pasti kalau ada yang mau ekspor ke Amerika, apalagi lewat Houston, Pak Bimo bisa bantu ya Pak ya?
Selalu baik bersama-sama KJRI Houston tentunya.
Ya, terima kasih banyak Pak Bimo. Sekarang ditutup oleh Ibu Konjen kita, Ibu Nana. Silakan Bu, sebelum nanti saya balikin ke Gina.
Okay, this is just a closing remarks. I wish to express my gratitude, my appreciation to Cynthia and also Michael and also John, probably, I don't know whether he's still here, for your presentation, your enlightenment, and also answering the queries from Indonesian participants. There are a lot of things that we should learn again and read all the regulation and the procedures comply to FDA if we want to export our food to United States. But this is a great opportunity, at least to know what we have to do and to read what is the regulation of FDA. Connection and network from participants to participants, and also through Pak Handito. Pak Handito does an excellent job, excellent work to educate and empower our future exporters from Indonesia to all over the world. And also thank you also for the support from Directorate Amerika Satu, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and also from Pak Bimo. Pak Asianto, thank you also for introducing Pak Sugi Suherman to us. Of course, this is not the end. There are so many things that we have to learn, especially about United States. Probably the next agenda we can invite the USDA, Department of Agriculture, Pak. And also another homework is about halal food. I'll try to find out how to respond with the question of halal food. So our cooperation, the Consulate General of Houston cooperation with Scholar Export will keep on, Pak. Thank you, and good luck for our exporters from Indonesia.
Terima kasih banyak.
Dan Gina.
Thank you, Bu Nana. But most importantly, we thank you, Bu, because this is your initiative. It started with the Ibu initiative, and this webinar is evolved from just the food and beverage into all the consumer products. So thank you very much, and also to Pak Bimo. And today especially, thank you for Cynthia and also Michael and John that has support us. And
let's take a picture, Gina.
Yes,
take a picture together.
Yeah.
Our staff from the consulate. Let's start with the first page. Everyone smile.
Okay, smile.
Okay. Done. Second page. Let's go for the second page, please.
Oke, second page. Ya, wajahnya mana nih? Wajahnya belum kelihatan.
Yes, everyone smile. The third
Ya.
page. Yeah.
Oke, thank you.
The fourth page. Ada Bu Endang. Halo Bu Endang. Next, the fifth page.
Oke.
Everyone smile.
Ya. Ya.
The sixth page.
Udah 8, Bu.
Yeah, two more. 7 page. And the last one. I noted we have around 240 participants, Pak.
Iya, iya. Ini tadi ada 240. Iya. Ini sekarang masih ada 189. Baik, terima kasih banyak sekali lagi Ibu Nana, Konjen RI di Houston. Nanti kita pertanian tadi ya, herb sama spices ya. Oke, terima kasih buat semuanya.
We'll try to find the contact, Pak.
Ya, ya, Bu.
Michael, we can help, or Cynthia, or probably Pak Sugi. But we do our best. Let's connect it.
Ya.
Terima kasih Pak Handito,
Terima
Gina,
kasih semuanya.
Michael, Cynthia, and everyone. Pak Rian, hello. Pak Asianto.
Ya. Baik, terima kasih banyak.
A very good evening to everyone in Jakarta. Selamat pagi di United States.
Yeah.
I'll see you again through virtual then.
Oke, terima kasih. Hidup Indonesia. Ini kan masih hari kemerdekaan, bulan kemerdekaan. Terima kasih semuanya. Thank you very much. Ya, thank you
Indonesia
semuanya.
maju.
Thank you. Oke, see you next time. Terima kasih Bu. Terima kasih semuanya. Oke, terima kasih. Kita izin.
I leave Pak ya.
Ya.
Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih semuanya. Terima kasih. Thank you. Terima kasih Gina. Oke, thank you semuanya.
Terima kasih Pak Gina, Ibu Konjen. Thank you Michael.
Ya, thank you Pak Bimo.
Terima kasih semuanya, Pak Handito.
Ya, makasih.
Ya.